Good morning, friends and family of friends. Happy Wednesday the 15th, everyone, and welcome aboard our research vessel located in the Atlantic, directly above the final resting place of Titanic. More on that shortly. This morning, sunrise will be at 6:14 and sunset will be at 7:38, giving us 13 hours and 24 minutes of daylight today. Presently, it's still pretty chilly at a crisp 25 degrees, give or take a little bit depending on exactly where you live. We are going to start the day out with partly sunny skies in the morning, giving way to mostly cloudy skies in the afternoon. High temps will be in the low 40s with winds out of the west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles an hour. From our family of friends celebrating birthdays today, happy birthday Tina Arnold Kramer, Tyler Cullen, Bruce Wendorf, Eric Bruner, Leah Parker, Dominic Dorosa, Colleen Wenslick, Shannon Smiley, Bill Hamilton, Blake Zimmerman, and last but not least, Scott Apuli. Our celebrity birthday shout-out starts with a talented young actress who rose to fame while playing Hermione Granger in the Harry Potter film series. She earned praise for her lead role in the 2012 film The Perks of Being a Wallflower, receiving the MTV Award, a Teen Choice Award, and a People Choice Award. She also stars as Belle in the 2017 feature Beauty and the Beast. Emma Watson turns 30 years old today. Our next celebrity is a popular Welsh action star who became known for his roles in such films as Immortals, The Three Musketeers, and Ma. He was cast as Gaston in the 2017 film Beauty and the Beast. Luke Evans turns 41 today. Our next celebrity shout-out is for a comedy actor known for his roles in such films as Knocked Up, Neighbors, and The 40-Year-Old Virgin. He won a Canadian Comedy Award for Best Writing for the film Superbad, which he also acted alongside Jonah Hill and Bill Hader. Seth Rogen turns 38 today. Moving on to this day in history. On today's date in 1912, the RMS Titanic struck an iceberg just before midnight on the 14th of April. The ship, with 2,200 passengers and crew on board on its maiden voyage, was thought to be unsinkable, but it sank after 2.5 hours when the ship breaks into two and sinks to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. More on that shortly. On today's date in 1955, Ray Kroc opens the first McDonald's franchise. It was the 9th restaurant in the chain, started in 1940 by the brothers Dick McDonald and Maurice McDonald in San Bernardino, California. The brothers introduced the Speedy Service System in 1948. The original McDonald's mascot was a chef hat on top of a hamburger called Speedy. Speedy was replaced in 1962 by the Golden Arches. The clown Ronald McDonald was introduced in 1965. Kroc eventually bought out the McDonald brothers and built it into the hamburger empire that it is today. And finally, on today's date in 2019, an accidental fire breaks out in the 850-year-old Notre Dame Cathedral. It was saved from complete destruction by the efforts of 500 French firefighters. The people of Paris watched with horror as the fire burned for 9 hours. A human chain of people managed to save such priceless relics as the Crown of Thorns and the Tunic of St. Louis. Crucial to the monument's survival was the firefighters' ability to stop the fire spreading into the belfries at the front of the cathedral. However, they were too late to save the 13th century wooden roof and the spire of the Gothic cathedral, which did collapse during the fire. Alright, moving on to our comedy corner. Did you hear what happened with the kidnapping in the park? They woke him up. Today is National Glazed Spiral Ham Day, yummy, National Rubber Eraser Day, National Take a Wild Guess Day, and National Titanic Remembrance Day. Today's morning motivational is a simple, undeniable truth. Look for something positive in every day, even if some days you have to look a little harder. There's always a silver lining to be found. You just have to look for it. A little harder some days for sure. Alright, we were informed this morning that surface conditions are not favorable for a trip down to see the Titanic and her final resting place, but we were promised tomorrow will be a go, so make sure to join us then. Until then, let's dive a little deeper into the story about Titanic, past and present. It was today back in 1912 when the Titanic slipped below the surface of the water and took its final journey to the floor of the Atlantic, a little over 2 miles from the surface. fear beyond words is all I can imagine for anyone who was aboard Titanic that fateful day. Wow. We have been told for years that Titanic struck an iceberg and sank. But did you know they had been fighting a coal fire on board, and that they had been fighting that coal fire before the first passenger stepped foot aboard Titanic for her maiden and final voyage? Well, the sinking of the RMS Titanic may have been caused by an enormous fire on board, not by hitting an iceberg in the North Atlantic. Experts have claimed, as new evidence has been published, to support the theory. While the cause of the disaster has long been attributed to an iceberg, fresh evidence has surfaced of a fire in the ship's hull, which researchers say burned unnoticed for almost 3 weeks leading up to the collision. While experts have previously acknowledged the theory of a fire on board, new analysis of rarely seen photos have prompted researchers to blame the fire as the primary cause of the ship's demise. Experts have studied recently surfaced photographs taken by the ship's chief electrical engineer before it left Belfast shipyard. They were able to identify a 30-foot long black mark along the front right-hand side of the hull, just behind where the ship's lining was pierced by the iceberg. Experts subsequently confirmed the marks were likely to have been caused by a fire started in a 3-story high fuel store behind one of the ship's boiler rooms. This might be the single worst case of bad luck, that the hull was compromised in the exact area that an iceberg would strike the Titanic, but all of the evidence points that way. We're looking at the exact area where the iceberg struck, and it appears to have a weakness or damage to the hull in that specific place before she even left Belfast. A team of 12 men attempted to put out the flames, but it was too large to control, reaching temperatures of up to 1,000 degrees Celsius. Subsequently, when the Titanic struck ice, the steel hull was weak enough for the ship's lining to be torn open. Officers on board were reportedly under strict instructions from J. Bruce Ismay, president of the company that built the Titanic, not to mention the fire to any of the ship's 2,500 passengers. That sure wasn't in the movie. The official Titanic inquiry branded the sinking as an act of God. This isn't a simple story of colliding with an iceberg and sinking. It's a perfect storm of extraordinary factors coming together: fire, ice, and criminal negligence. Nobody has investigated these marks before. It totally changes the narrative. We have metallurgy experts telling us that when you get that level of temperature against steel, it makes it brittle and reduces its strength by up to 75%. The fire was known about, but it was played down. It's become more and more clear that the Titanic should never have been put to sea. Well, as usual, Belinda and I hope that you enjoyed this adventure and this look back in time. We do appreciate the time that you spend with us each day. Our goal is to offer a mix of entertainment and education in each of our Morning Minute posts. After all, knowledge is power, and we do love to share what we come across. We hope you are enjoying the experience. Please continue to like, follow, and share us with your friends and family. Have a great day. Make it an awesome day. You have the power, and we'll talk to you soon. We're out here.